Welcome to Nifty Bank Nifty analysis quickly with top stocks and important levels. Starting things off with Nifty, what we can see here is कि daily chart पे, daily candle पे 50 MA के ऊपर close हुआ है, which is a good sign. RSI is below 50, but honestly that is not that much of a problem if you ask me. क्योंकि हम लोग ने देखा है पिछली बार actually 45 RSI से भी bounce किया है. Honestly, it does not make that much of a difference if you ask me, especially when it is mid trend. Now coming to the hourly chart of Nifty, this is where I think the real pieces fall in place and the puzzle sort of starts to solve itself. So Nifty काफी गिर गया है, obviously कल भी गिरा था और आज extend किया उसने गिरना. Once again, yesterday it opened gap up and came down. Today also it opened gap up, same candle नीचे आ गया. But जिधर से bounce हुआ है वो काफी interesting लगा मुझे, because हम लोग देख सकते हैं कि ये जो level है वो बहुत important है. And this actually reminds me of the price action that we saw when Nifty was testing 14,400. So I think थोड़ा सा similar लगा मुझे. If I just get the levels on the screen, then what we can see here is that this trend line that I had drawn yesterday, ठीक है, ये trend line को support लिया. और कल actually हम लोग ने बात किया था, I can't draw on the screen because this is a different device, but yesterday what I said that it might just go within this range. इधर से आके ये trend line से actually ऊपर आ सकता है और वो trend line से ऊपर आने की try कर रहा है अभी. Now the real question is whether it's able to break this trend line, this upper trend line. So that is where my sights would personally be set at in terms of supports and resistances. Okay, it is right now at some sort of a resistance, honestly I'd say, because जो 700 का level है वो काफी important है. हाँ, closing basis पे it has been able to close above 700, but कल sustain कर सकता है कि नहीं, that is the real question. Again, 735 resistance will be there and once that is cleared, obviously 200 MA. So resistance is here, but overall I think it's looking fairly decent. We can see tremendous buying happening at lower levels. In fact, 200 point lows se aa gaya upar, which is a great sign. I think that alone goes to show how much strength the buyers had in the second half of the day. So that's very good. Just a 5-minute quick overview. We'll look at 5 minute का जो chart है. यहाँ पे दिन कहाँ से चालू हुआ, यहाँ से चालू हुआ, 50 MA रिजेक्टेड, नीचे आया. ये ट्रेंड लाइन था जो बड़ा वाला देखा हम लोग ने, उसको तोड़ दिया. यहाँ पे एक डोजी फॉर्म करके, स्पिनिंग टॉप फॉर्म करके उसको तोड़ दिया. एंड देन वी सॉ सम रिजेक्शन हैपनिंग, बट देन शॉर्ट कवरिंग. आई थिंक दिस इज द कैंडल. ओके, 12 बजे का जो कैंडल है, आई थिंक दैट माइट बी द कैंडल विच एक्चुअली लेड टू मेनी ऑफ द पीपल एक्चुअली एग्जिटिंग. सो अगेन दैट इज माई व्यू, दैट्स हाउ आई एम रीडिंग इट. नेक्स्ट कमिंग टू बैंक निफ्टी. बैंक निफ्टी पे हम लोग क्या देख सकते हैं? बैंक निफ्टी पे हम लोग देख सकते हैं कि ये जो लेवल है, ओके, 50 MA का, वो फिर से रिजेक्ट हुआ है. एंड इट इज एक्चुअली वेरी डिफरेंट टू निफ्टीज चार्ट. वंस अगेन RSI is at 43, बट ठीक है, RSI 40 तक आ सकता है. I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't rule that out. Overall though, as long as 34,400 is held, I think Bank Nifty has some strength. If you look at the 60-minute chart, तो हम लोग को पता चलता है बैंक निफ्टी में भी ये जो ऐसा लेवल जो है उधर से ही बाउंस किया है आज. अगर हम लोग लेवल्स लाते हैं, we can see this zone right here that was rejected. Very first clue that possibly थोड़ा selling आ सकता है. And after that we saw the 34,600 level being broken as well. फिर finally 34,084 का जो ये वाला marked level है उसके थोड़ा ऊपर से support लिया. I'm not saying उधर से ही लिया exactly, but उसके थोड़ा सा ऊपर से लिया, 30 पॉइंट ऊपर से लिया. And then what we saw was it actually closed above 34,420. That's a good sign. 34,500 के ऊपर भी close होना is a good sign. But let's not ignore that we are still, under the moving averages for all indices. Nifty, Bank Nifty, दोनों moving averages के नीचे है, which means कि still that weakness is not completely gone, I'd say, but it is on track to actually showing us some potentially good moves. We can see RSI above 40 for both of them. So let's see how that happens. Bank Nifty का जो 5-minute chart है, this is what we are seeing on the 5-minute chart. Very good 50 MA support right here, which is very good to see. एंड ओवरऑल काफ़ी अच्छा दिख रहा है मेरे हिसाब से तो, बिकॉज सेकेंड हाफ में जो रिलीफ रैली जैसा आता है वो रिलीफ रैली तो आई, बट उसके बाद ये करेक्शन आया, उसके बाद भी इट वाज एबल टू बाउंस अप, व्हिच आई थिंक इज अ इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट. बट ठीक है, मे बी आई एम बुलिश बायस्ड, मे बी आई एम नॉट. एंड बाय द वे, यू सॉ इट. लाइक, शेयर, सब्सक्राइब इफ यू वांट टू, नो प्रेशर. If you feel what I share is informative, then you have the option to do so. Now coming to Reliance. Okay, Reliance top stocks में से number 1 top stocks actually. We can see 2025 का जो fib level है. Okay, if I just zoom out, okay, we can see that from the COVID lows to the all-time high, we stretch a fib 23.6 comes at 2025. वो एक support हो सकता है अगर वो तोड़ा. क्योंकि 200 MA के नीचे है, शायद 200 MA पे है, जस्ट एट 200 MA. So if it's broken, then I think this level 1980 का जो level है, that becomes very important. So let's see if that is held. Overall, as I've said plenty of times now, Reliance, even though it is not really showing very good movements on the chart, I personally think that it still has potential. HDFC Bank, we can see 200 MA resistance broke down from this zone itself. So let's see. Again, HDFC Bank के बारे में हम लोग ने बात किया कि it's really facing a lot of resistances these days. Especially इसने ये जो 1480 का जो zone है वो तोड़ा, उसके बाद तो आने ही वाला था मेरे हिसाब से. And HDFC twins are actually the ones that dragged in Nifty down quite a lot. So वो भी एक चीज है. Infosys देखते हैं, yet another close above 1600, very good sign. Actually low आज का था 1585 and then it managed to come up, which is a good sign. Now coming to HDFC, the other part of HDFC twins, and what we can see here is actually a good candle. Very different candle from HDFC Bank, which is honestly a pleasant surprise because HDFC Bank का candle उतना खास नहीं था. So now again 2450 का resistance आ सकता है. RSI is below 40 on the daily chart. Not a very pleasant sign, but it is what it is. ICICI Bank फटाफट से देख लेते हैं. And we can see the all-time high close happening for ICICI Bank. Very good sign, very positive sign I'd say. In fact, जो all-time high पहले बनाया था ये दिन पे, जो 687.75 का था, उससे बस 2 पॉइंट नीचे क्लोज हुआ है, which is I think a very bullish sign. So that's what we're seeing with ICICI Bank. Next up, Kotak Bank, what we can see, massive red candle. Okay, it's actually made a new swing low. So मेरे को ये fib change करना पड़ेगा. Not really looking good. RSI 50 resistance in hindsight. 50 MA resistance की तो बात की ही थी. So let's see how it goes. And next up is SBIN. SBIN पे देखते हैं हम लोग. SBIN क्या दिखा रहा है हम लोग को? 50 MA support दिखा रहा है. It is almost consolidating. It's sandwiched between that 420 level and the 435 level, which means 435 के अगर कुछ अच्छा मूव दिखाता है, then it might just be a longer, broader move. So let's see if that actually happens. Next stock is Axis Bank. Axis Bank हम लोग देख सकते हैं काफी नीचे आ गया है. Again, presumably one of the stocks that led to Nifty and Banknifty falling. And speaking of, we'll just look at a snapshot of broad market. So if that just goes away, what we can see here is कि metal और IT के अलावा बाकी सब sectors down थे. PSU banks down, hit especially quite a lot. Pharma उतना down नहीं था, which is a good sign. Purely going by the EOD figure, possibly it was a good buying cushioning the selling pressure after yesterday. That is what I read it. Nifty next 50 is positive, which is interesting because every other stock or every other index, including the small caps, is negative. So वो काफी एक sore thumb जैसा stick out कर रहा है इंडिया के साथ. Top gainers, losers, starting with losers, Kotak Bank है, Dr. Reddy कल भी गंदा पिटा था. Tata Motors actually at a good level now, 280, 282 is a good support in my view. So let's see if that is held. Gainers, Airtel, Tata Steel, SBI Life, the others. Divi Slab actually very interesting. Despite being a PSU, it is positive. So देखते हैं क्या होता है. I hope you had a good positive session today. That's it for this one. See you in the next and happy trading.